Earlier, we used the Platform API to dynamically set the font family style for our custom text component. Now, this approach works well if you want to dynamically set one or two properties. But the more properties we want to customize for different platforms, our code starts to become unmaintainable. For example, let's say we want to set different font sizes for iOS and Android. So once again, we have to use platform.os. If this equals Android, then we want to set the font size to 18. Otherwise, we want to set it to 20. See the duplication? Our code starts to get unmaintainable and ugly. To solve this problem, we can use platform.select method. So this platform object has a method called select. This method takes an object. Now in this object, we can have optional key value pairs like iOS. So this question mark means this key is optional. We can have a key for macOS, Windows, and so on. So let's add a key for iOS. In this object, we can define all the styles for iOS in a single place. So our font size should be 20 and our font family should be Avenir. Now we can add another key for Android. So Android, we set it to an object, and here we set the font size to 18 and font family to Roboto. Now this method returns one of these objects depending on the current platform. So we get an object with these properties. Now we need to spread that object to copy those properties into this object over here. So let's delete these two properties. Let's say on all platforms, the color of our text should be, let's say, tomato. Now we want to copy platform-specific styles over here. So I'm going to cut this code, move it over here. Now, as I told you, the select method returns an object. So here we spread that object to copy its properties into this object, okay? Now, let's save the changes. So let's go back to our app component. And here in our container, we're going to add app text. And let's say I love React Native. So here's our iOS simulator, and here's our Android virtual device. So all styles are working properly. Now we have another approach to separate platform-specific styles. So back to our project. Here in the components folder, we can have completely different implementations of this component for different platforms. This is useful if you want to customize the behavior in addition to the styles. So we add a new file here. Look at the naming convention, apptext.ios.js. So this is where we have the implementation of this component for iOS. So I'm going to go to our app text component, copy all the code, paste it here. Now let's simplify our code. So in our styles object, we no longer need to use platform.select. We only want to copy the properties for iOS. So I'm going to cut this here and paste them after color. Now let's delete platform.select. So here we have all the styles for iOS in a single place. And that means on the top, we no longer need to import the platform module. Similarly, we can provide an Android implementation. So here we add another file, apptext.android.js. And once again, these names are case sensitive, so make sure to spell Android and iOS in lowercase. Now let's go to our original implementation. Once again, we copy all the code and paste it over here. Now, for Android, we only want these two properties. So let's move this over here and then delete platform.select. Now finally, remove the platform module over here. So in our app component, we don't care what implementation we want to import. We import our app text component exactly like before. With this setup, React Native will automatically import the right implementation for the current platform. So let's test our app one more time. Here's our iOS simulator, beautiful. And here's our Android virtual device. So everything works exactly like before.